Are
And
we
we
live?
are live. Yes, we are, indicated by the red live button on the top left of the screen.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone
Cool.
to the second or third episode of the INTP Twins podcast. Fourth.
It's the fourth. Yeah.
Well, the title of this one is second. So, in typical INTP fashion, I don't know what day it is or what episode this is, but thanks everyone for watching. So, lay it on me. I know you got a couple of things to talk about today. So, what you got, Jeremy?
Well, first I'd like to talk about the weather. So, how's the weather down in your area?
From my viewing distance, it looks sunny, looking out my living room windows, and hot.
How's how's the wife and kids?
They're wifey and kitty.
All right. The first thing I want to talk about is whether or not you should wear a mask in public. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because of corona reasons, and because lots of people seem to not want to wear one, and I'm trying to understand their point of view. And there must be some point of view that I'm not understanding. And so I was hoping maybe you could put yourself in that mental space and explain to me why some people don't wear a mask.
I mean, obviously, there's no good reason. There's no intellectual reason. I think that it's. I think that some people have a predisposition to have a problem with things mandated by the government or by an authority that aren't easy to see discreetly or tangibly in front of them. And it's very likely that the average person in the United States doesn't know anybody who's had the coronavirus yet. I mean, like someone in your close circle of family and friends and coworkers.
Yeah.
So it for a lot of people, the pandemic seems to be like this
Vaporware.
Yeah, it's like it's just this idea. It's just an idea at this point, and mandating people to inconvenience themselves to help society at large. I think people are tying it back to the government forcing people to participate in something to help the collective good. And depending on which political side you're on or which beliefs you have or what your core values are, you may not have a natural instinct to do anything to help the collective good. And it being mandated to do something that it's not obvious what the value is of it to the average person, because again, most people haven't seen or know anybody who's had the coronavirus even in July right now. It just rubs them wrong.
So you're saying individualism versus egalitarian, greater amount of good for the greater amount of people. So they're erring on the side of not my business, personal freedom. I don't have any direct evidence that this is a big deal, so I'm going to exercise my right to be individualistic and uphold freedom and all that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And so the request is so small to begin with. It's really just a very minor inconvenience. So it's not about the actual mask. It's about the idea of forcing the government forcing you to inconvenience yourself for the greater good. I think that's what it boils down to.
It's really weird to me because it's not outside the realm of it's not outside the realm of feasibility for the government to enforce things that make us healthier and safer, such as seatbelts.
Right.
I mean, do all those people not wear seatbelts?
I mean, the request is so small to begin with. It's about the idea of forcing the government forcing you to inconvenience yourself for the greater good. I think that's what it boils down to.
It's really weird to me because it's not outside the realm of possibility, not possibility. It's not outside the realm of feasibility for the government to enforce things that make us healthier and safer, such as seatbelts. I mean, do all those people not wear seatbelts? I mean,
I would imagine there probably is some kind of correlation between the two, but no, it's just
you're not gonna strap me down like a like a dog.
yeah,
You're not gonna
yeah,
tie me into my own car like a filthy animal.
right.
I saw this one video of this guy. It was an older guy, and he was at like a town council or something, expressing his opinion about the mandatory mask wearing, and he was essentially frothing at the mouth at this point, and he was like, "You're not gonna muzzle me like a dog." And I was thinking, muzzle you like a dog? Like, that's not at all what this is. Like, I mean, what? And then one of my neighbors explained to me that maybe he was talking about being muzzled, as in your personal freedoms being taken away. But I don't know. I think he was just mad at the government telling him to do something, and whenever he thought about putting a mask on, he thought about being muzzled like a dog, and he was just going on and on about it. And to me, it's like yes, there's a threshold where we should push back against the government whenever they push too far, but to prevent the spread of a virus that's powerful and not well known, and is very easily spread, and could overwhelm the medical system and kill the elderly very easily, and even non-elderly. But let's be real, that it's mainly the elderly. It's not that the government asking you or enforcing you to wear a mask is well within the realm of their guidance and jurisdiction. I mean, that's what we have government for, to govern. Like, we need a government to do things like making people wear masks. That's why we have a government, is because you can't trust people on their own because they do stupid shit like not wearing a mask. And so that's the reason we have government. It's like a circular reference, like that. That I just don't see how this isn't a matter of subjective opinion in my eyes, and I just don't see how people can willingly, like, I joke on Facebook a lot. I put this in comments a lot on stuff that people post. I say it's my God-given right to infect other people without disregard.
Right, that doesn't quite
Like,
have that ring to it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. God bless America, and God bless accidentally infecting the elderly and having them die from something that they wouldn't normally have died from. Like, it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I think I just had a good point. Yeah,
it's gone. It's gone forever. What was it about?
It was about the mask. It was about wearing masks. Maybe this is what it was. It's also you also can't. I remember what it was now. You can't. It's like turn signals. You're doing it. Every person has to participate for the greater good and safety for everyone, and not everybody does it right now. Actually, I would argue that it's close to half, which is pretty bad. But the idea of it is exactly the same. But you don't see people writing and saying, you're not going to make me use my turn signal. And the difference is turn signals have been embedded in our culture for a long time now, and masks haven't. And whenever you go overseas to places like Korea and China and Japan and countries like that, it's been a thing, especially in China, to wear a mask for a long time now. Like, even back in the early 2000s when the big SARS outbreak happened, it was even normal then for Chinese people to wear masks all the time, and especially because of, like, if there's like a critical smog thing going on, people wear masks, and
Yep.
and so to them, it's like, oh, we have to wear a mask now. It's not that really big of a deal. But in the goddamn United States, it's a different story. This is the land of the free, and it's not culturally normal to have to wrap yourself up like that. So I think over time it'll get better once it's more culturally acceptable, and it'll probably be like this forever. For all intents and purposes, forever.
Meaning, if another virus outbreak happens, we'll have to do it again.
Yeah, the country will have to have masks as part of the cultural norm now, and it'll take time for it to become normalized and integrated into our cultural norms, but it will be. But in the meantime, you're going to have that old guy at the city council meeting frothing at the mouth.
So is it really a matter of being comfortable with change? Is that really what it is? I mean, is it even, let's just cut the shit here. Is it even about freedom at all? Or is it people like, I don't like something that's different? Is that really what it is?
I'm sure that's part of it, but I still think that it's not necessarily just change. It's also like if the change was like everybody secure a gun now, none of those people would be rioting.
Right. Yeah,
but that's not the change. The issue, I think the issue is being forced to participate in something that's inconvenient for the greater good. I think that's what they don't like.
Yeah. Yeah. One of those Republican radio host guys. I don't even know if there's more than one now, but whoever it is, somebody like Glenn Beck, may have been him, maybe in the Rush Limbaugh. I don't know. One of those guys. I don't even know if any of those guys are still doing their thing. But anyway, one of them said on their radio show, he basically said, people are thinking it's wear a mask or lots of people might die. And so if you don't wear a mask, are we saying that you're fine with lots of people dying? Yes. I was like, well, damn, at least he said it out loud.
Right.
Like, at least he owned it, Most people are like, no, you're not going to stamp on my freedom. He was like, nah, it's not so much about the freedom. It's just, I don't care if a lot of people die. Personal responsibility. Don't go outside.
Yeah.
If you don't want to get sick, don't go outside. Don't go around other people. I was like, well, I mean, hell, at least, I mean, I don't personally agree with that, but at least he wasn't dancing around it,
right? Right. He's wearing his shitbag sign right on the front of his shirt.
Yeah, he's got it ironed on.
Yeah.
All right, this topic is exhausted. All right, I want to tell you about an extraordinary thing that I came across the other day, and I still can't believe it actually happened. And it's going to seem very trivial at first, but I promise you that it rocked to the foundation of my very existence. So, do you remember the movie L.A. Confidential? So I think it came out in 1995. It had every single celebrity's name has literally left my head.
Russell Crowe.
All of them. I can't even think of one. Yeah, Russell Crowe and the guy that played Ed Exley. Guy Pearce. And
the old guy that plays a really good bad guy. What's his name?
I don't know. But it also had Kevin Spacey. I don't know if it's cool to like Kevin Spacey anymore. Probably not. But
I don't think so.
I think he's cool.
Was Kim Basinger in it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So all those people were in it. So if you remember, as part of the plot, one of the and I can't remember the exact details, but one of the characters had created a fictional character to tell someone else that, how do I describe it? They made up a fictional character in their head that did a bad crime, and instead of let's say someone murdered your dad or something. So if you never found out who murdered your dad, you would give the criminal a name, the fake criminal that murdered your dad a name. And one of the characters in the movie did that because someone actually, it may have been murdered his dad, and whenever he was little, and he gave the fake criminal that they never found out who it was a fake name so that he could at least talk about it and stuff like that. Well, I never forgot that name because I thought it was just a really weird name. I just thought it was just a very strange name. And so the other day I'm on Amazon, cruising around the old Amazon, and this book suggestion comes up, and it's called The Rational Male. And regardless of whether or not you agree with the red pill men going their own way movement and all that, it's about that essentially. It's one of the founding books of the male improvement and self discovery and being the best man you can be, and stuff like that. And it deals with women as well, and that's where it gets controversial. But anyway, so the author's name is Rollo Tomasi. All right, that is the exact same name of the fake character in LA Confidential from 1995. And I was thinking, there's no way this New York Times best-selling author has this Rollo Tomasi, the exact same name as the character in LA Confidential. Rollo? I've never even heard that name. And Tomasi? Like, I guess Tomasi, all right, maybe foreign or something, but Rollo? Maybe that's a foreign name too, but the exact combination, and then and so I just went down this rabbit hole, and then the only thing I can think of is that I guess Rollo Tomasi is like John Smith in some other country. That's the only thing I can think of, but it's just it really blew me away because I had never heard of Rollo or Tomasi. I'd never seen either one of those names ever, at least directly observe it since that movie came out, and then all of a sudden I see an author with the exact name. Like it just doesn't. It seemed incredible to me.
Yeah, I guess a few things pop in my head. First is the author was the author and the author when LA Confidential came out?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm going to look that up right now.
Because if they were, maybe whoever wrote the screenplay for LA Confidential was a fan of the author and gave that name as, just as a shout out, mentioning them for some reason, or, screenwriters have all sorts of reasons why they dump names into things.
Holy shit. There's a band called Rollo Tomasi, and it's named after the character from LA Confidential, not the author. I just found that on the Wikipedia. Let's see. So it is spelled slightly different. There is a difference in, but all right. So I'm looking at, so Rollo is with two L's in the author's name, and it has two S's. So two L's and two S's, but otherwise the same. So that makes it less cool, but it's still a pretty incredible coincidence. I'm clicking his name to see his other publications to see if he's written anything else, because this book came out way after 1995.
Right.
And when I click his name, nothing happens. All right. Let's see. That's his. That's it. That's it. That's his only book. That's his only book. So that answers that.
Huh.
But it's Rollo Tomasi, Rollo Tomasi, and the LA Confidential one is Rollo Tomasi. I just think that's so weird. Yeah, maybe I'm easily amused.
Yeah, well, whenever something gets stuck in your head like that, and it's easy to remember, it's going to be more subjective for you. It'll mean more to you.
Oh, definitely. That's the reason something that gets on my nerves. I should look at the positive side of this, but anyway, I'm going to go to the negative. Something that gets on my nerves is whenever you find a song very, very emotionally moving or very touching, or the song really speaks to your core, and you're like, OMG, friends and family, let me send you this amazing song, and you send it to them, and they're like, okay,
Right.
and you're like, no, you're supposed to feel the way I feel whenever you listen to this song.
Right.
How dare you? Like, it's the same, I guess it's the same subjective experience, and everything that you've experienced in your life influences how you feel about that song, and really current events probably too, like what you're going through in your life at the time.
Yep. Yeah, it's really interesting how all the different spider webs can network together and create these personal experiences that other people are just like.
Yeah, they're like,
and you're
cool,
like,
bro.
oh my god, this is amazing, and everybody else is like,
they're like, cool story, bro.
yeah,
cool song, bro.
So the ultimate, you had to have been there moment,
right? Yeah, you had to have lived my life there.
right? Yeah. Trust me, if you were me, you would have thought that was cool.
Yeah, exactly. Trust me, if you experience everything that I've experienced in my life, you would have thought it was cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Do you have anything else you want to talk about, or I'm good. I think this is a good episode, and we should stop while we're having fun and not. And that's how we'll make more, is whenever we can just jump in and jump out. But what about the YouTube, like, length or whatever?
I think once you get over 10 minutes, you're fine. I think we're over 10 minutes, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
21 minutes.
22
minutes.
We're good.
Yeah, I hate whenever you start watching a podcast and you see the timer at the bottom and it's like 2 hours, 59 minutes remaining. And I'm like, I'm not watching this shit.
Yeah, I'm like, well, even worse is if it's a podcast, but there's no slides or notes or that segment off what they're talking about. It's like there's no way for me to skip forward, no way to skip ahead. There's no way to do anything. Sometimes you can put in the YouTube comments the different sections, though. I think Joe Rogan does that sometimes.
Yeah, not many people do that, though.
Yeah, because somebody has to sit down and fucking watch the whole thing and segment it off. That is the ultimate shit detail. Like, who wants to do that? This is what they're talking about now. Mark the time. Now this is what they're talking about. Timestamp.
They started talking about it again. Let me edit that last timestamp.
Right. Yeah.
Did we ever talk about if sales is ethical or not? Did we talk about that on our previous session?
No, but it's not. Yeah.
Oh, we can talk about that now, or we can do it for the next one. It's up to you.
Let's do it on the next one.
All right.
My ears are starting to hurt. Yeah. I know. Something with.
I didn't say anything.
I know, but I projected it onto the viewers. Bitch, somebody's a bitch. I heard that. It's really weird. Anytime I put on headphones for more than maybe 5 or 10 minutes, they just start. I mean, they turn red and they just start hurting really badly. I need to figure out a better way of doing this so that there's no echo and I don't have to wear headphones.
That's still just so bizarre. Like, do you have the headphones scrunched up to the very top?
No, it's not that. I've tried that, and I've tried having them tight, and
you've adjusted them so that your ear is fully in it. It's not being squished or bent or anything like that.
Yeah, and it's not just that. I mean, it does it with the earbuds too.
Oh, I can't do earbuds. Fuck that.
Yeah,
that hurts my ears. I can't do earbuds for more than a minute or two.
Yeah.
Huh.
Somebody's a bitch. Can't do earbuds. Somebody's a bitch.
Look, it's a pretty common thing for people to be like, earbuds hurt. It's not common for people to be like, oh, my precious ears hurt because of my headphones.
Yeah.
I don't
know. It's weird.
All right.
Yeah, maybe they should study me for science.
Yep. They'll study you for Male
For being a
masculinity in the
bitch.
21st century.
Masculinity. How to be a woman in the 21st century? Hey, area man, area men's, area men's ears hurt real bad.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yes. Thanks. Did you turn